Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right in and taking a first tour of a place that can feel, a little cryptic at first, the Linux command line. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you how to start exploring like a pro. You know that feeling? You open up a terminal, you see that little blinking cursor, and you just think, now what? If you've ever felt that way, trust me, you are not alone. It's like being handed the keys to a spaceship with no instruction manual. But we're about to fix that. Because here's the thing, the command line isn't some scary black box filled with secret codes. Nope, it's actually a completely open and transparent world just waiting for you to look around. So today, we're going to grab our gear and start navigating it together. Now, every great explorer needs a toolkit, right? We're not packing any climbing gear, but we are going to look at 3 absolutely essential commands. Think of this as your starter pack for this whole digital expedition. Okay, so here's the whole shebang. Our starter pack has just 3 tools. You've got ls, which is basically your map. It shows you what's around you. Then there's file, which is like a field guide for figuring out what all the stuff actually is. And finally, less, your magnifying glass to get a real close-up look. You get these 3 down, and you're ready for pretty much anything. So let's start with our map, the ls command. Honestly, this is probably the command you're going to use more than any other. It's your go-to fundamental tool for seeing what's inside any folder or directory on the system. In its most basic form, you literally just type ls and hit enter. Boom, you see all the files and folders right where you are. But you can also give it a location, what we call an argument, like ls/usr, to take a peek inside a totally different directory, all without leaving your spot. And this brings us to a really, really important idea. Almost every command in Linux follows this simple pattern. You have the command itself, like ls. Then you can add options, usually a little dash and a letter, that change how the command works. And finally, you have arguments, which is just the what or where the command should do its thing. And this right here shows you the power of those options. Just typing ls gives you a quick glance. But add the -l option, which stands for long format, and bam, you get this super detailed breakdown for every single thing in the directory. It's a total game changer. I know, at first glance, that long format can look like complete gibberish. But each one of those columns tells you something important. You've got permissions, who owns the file, its size, when it was last touched. It's a treasure trove of information all laid out for you. And you know what the best part is? You can mix and match these options. It's like adding different lenses to your map. So say you want a detailed, human-readable list, sorted by the most recently changed files. Easy. You just type ls-lht. You're literally customizing your view on the fly. How cool is that? Okay, so you've used your map, ls, and you've spotted something interesting. What's next? Well, this is where the other 2 tools in our kit come into play, file and less. These are what we use to uncover the secrets inside the things we find. Now, to really get why our next tool is so crucial, you have to wrap your head around this one core idea. In the world of Linux, almost everything is treated like a file. We're talking text documents, pictures, programs, even your mouse and keyboard. Everything is a file, and that makes the system incredibly powerful and consistent. This is exactly why your field guide, the file command, is so important. See, in Linux, you can't always trust a file name. A file could be called myvacation.jpg, but it could actually be a malicious script. The file command doesn't care about the name. It looks at the actual data inside the file and tells you what it really is. No more guessing. So once you've used file and you know something is a plain text file, you pull out your magnifying glass, less. It's what's called a pager. It lets you open up and scroll through text files of any size. And here's a fun fact. It's named less because it was an improvement on an older program called more. Get it? Less is more? All right, our toolkit is packed and ready. We've got our map, we've got our field guide, and we've got our magnifying glass. It is officially time to put on our explorer's hat and take a quick spin through the Linux file system. Let's go. Let's start our tour in a really important place, Etsy. Think of this as the system's main control room. First, we'll use a new command,
CD, which just means change directory, to go there. Once we're in, we can use our map ls-f to look around. Then we can use our magnifying glass, less, to peek inside a key file like password, which lists all the user accounts. See that? We just used our entire toolkit in one spot.
Now, the Linux file system has a bunch of must-see landmarks. The slash directory is the root of everything. Slash home is where all your personal stuff lives. And places like slash var slash log are like the system's diary, recording everything that happens. I seriously encourage you, take your new tools and go visit these places. As you're exploring, you are absolutely going to stumble across something that looks like this. You'll see one file name, then a little arrow, then another file name. So what's the deal here? Is it a file? A shortcut? What is that? What you're looking at is something called a symbolic link. And it's a super clever solution to a common problem. Imagine a program is looking for a library file called library-v1. What happens when you update to library-v2? Does the program break? Nope. You just update the symbolic link to point to the new file. It's a really elegant fix that keeps the whole system flexible. And, that really brings us toward the end of our first tour. From the way commands are built to the way the whole system is laid out, we've started to see that everything is designed to be open and accessible. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? In Linux, there are no secrets. That is the whole spirit of the system. It's not trying to hide how it works. In fact, it's inviting you in. It wants you to look around, to read the settings, and to really understand how all the pieces fit together. Look, we've really only just begun to explore, but the key thing is, you now have the foundational tools. You have ls to see, file to identify, and less to read. The entire map of this amazing world is laid out right in front of you. So the only real question left is, where is your curiosity going to take you? What will you discover first?